Coming up on KUJH News.
The third national No Kings protests returned to Lawrence.
Leadership changes on campus at KU.
And Kansas City's first Asian Glow Fest. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to KUJH News. I'm Trevor Burns.
And I'm Kay Spears.
Last Saturday, Lawrence citizens gathered in Watson Park to participate in the National No Kings protest. The event saw a large turnout, just like the previous two last year. KUJH reporter Zach Newkirk was there to cover the demonstration.
Behind me are thousands of Lawrencians gathered at Watson Park downtown to join in on the third day of the No Kings protest. But what does this protest mean to the people of Lawrence?
Protesting and being peaceful and protesting and standing up for what you believe in is like an American thing. It's like something to be proud of.
The sound of cars honking in support was just one of many sounds to be heard at the No Kings protest on Saturday. Lawrence citizens populated Watson Park with signs, costumes, and even instruments to join in the protest against the Trump administration. In fact, protest music was one of the biggest aspects of Saturday's event.
Down by the riverside, gonna lay down my sword and shield.
Rick Averill, one of the protesters, has been using his banjo for many years to make his voice heard.
I demonstrated against the war in Vietnam with this same banjo and a lot of these same songs, 50 years ago, in 1968, 70.
Another big aspect of the protest was the involvement of children, as many people brought their kids along. One mom, Allison Davenport, utilized the opportunity to educate her kids.
We brought them on purpose because we want them to see that this is like a community-wide held belief and that it's not, so we do talk about it in our home a lot.
The kids themselves are just as excited to be there.
I like to be here because I just want to be part of this moment.
The message of the day, don't be afraid to speak up and make your voice heard.
Don't be scared to speak your truth and to talk about things you actually believe in.
For KUJH News, I'm Zach Newkirk.
Thanks, Zach. The city of Lawrence continues to be a hub for peaceful protests.
Faculty members are concerned over financial decisions being made by the university. KUJH's Clarissa Rodriguez is live in studio with how university leaders are defending those choices and how faculty are responding.
Thanks, Case. In a campus-wide memo, Chancellor Gerard and Provost Maffei defend the recent budget decisions and also lay out the current university's financial challenges. They point to declining public and funding and changes in college athletics for the financial situations. They defend the investments in Kansas athletics and facilities, arguing that they're critical to revenue, recruitment, and the university's long-term stability. Members of the Faculty Senate said they want more involvement in the decision process.
These are really critical times, and I don't think that these are situations and choices that should be made by a handful of people, within the Chancellor's cabinet. I think we need a broader conversation, and I think faculty are more than capable of understanding the dynamics going on right now.
In early March, the Faculty Senate unanimously voted to approve a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Gerard and Chief Financial Officer Jeff DeWitt. Back to you, Case.
Thanks, Clarissa. KUJH will continue to follow this developing story.
UAKU came to an agreement with KU management for their first union contract on March 6th. UAKU is made up of faculty at KU after an initial push from graduate students to raise salary to a more livable wage. On March 26th, UAKU ratified its first contract and constitution with an overwhelming vote of 92% to ratify them.
With good news coming from the UAKU and KU administration's agreement, let's see if the weather is bringing some good news as well. Aiden, what you got for us?
Case, well, it's partly cloudy outside across northeastern Kansas right now. However, we are expecting those clouds. They're going to be moving out over the course of the day. It's not going to be this cloudy the entirety. We're going to have plenty of sunshine in time for the baseball game tonight. We're not quite done with that rain yet, though. It's going to come around again tomorrow. We've got a really good chance of some showers, isolated thunderstorms or two, especially as we move on in our evening. It's going to be looking a little bit dicey out there for that game. This weekend, though, different story. Don't worry about it, folks. We've got plenty of sunshine in the forecast. It's going to be a great weekend. Case?
I don't know about you, Trevor, but I'm hoping for some sunshine, good times, and tan lines.
You and I both, Case. Aiden will be back later on in the show to give us a deeper look at the weather. The new dean searches are causing major leadership transitions. KUJH reporter Alex Wood explains what this means for campus.
A new chapter is beginning at the University of Kansas as leadership changes happen across campus. Following the selection of a new provost, attention is now turning to multiple dean searches happening at the same time. That includes the KU School of Education and Human Sciences and the William Allen White School of Journalism. Those committees help guide the selection process. Now the journalism school search is entering a new phase with the first candidate presentation already underway.
I am humbled and honored to be here today to talk with you about my vision for the school.
Candidate Reinardi says his focus is on supporting student success.
That we are in a position to remove barriers to allow faculty, staff, and students to succeed.
And building on KU's strength as a professional program.
We're a professional school. That's what we do.
Thanks, Alex. Journalism Dean candidate presentations will continue through April 16th, with a final decision expected later this spring.
When we come back, Aiden Ball will be here to give us a full rundown of the weather.
Coming up next on KUJH, find out why classrooms like this one here at Robinson are making the learning environment a little more difficult for students, especially as the temperatures continue to increase.
And thrifting has become a popular hobby for college students. Stay tuned.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
KU supports community, creativity, Kansas. The University of Kansas provides statewide medical outreach, first responder training, cybersecurity protection, childhood development support, and economic gains amounting to over $7 billion every year. Every day, Kansas Jayhawks serve the world by creating a better future. The world is safer, healthier, stronger because of what KU creates.
Welcome back to KUJH News.
Aiden Baugh is back to give us a full look at the weather. Aiden, what can we expect this upcoming week?
Well, Case, we had some showers roll through earlier this morning. Now, these showers, they had a little bit of lightning in them, a few rumbles of thunder, nothing severe, just some showers rolling through the area. We're seeing them propagate a little bit in far northeastern Kansas along the Kansas-Nebraska state line, but they're largely out of our area and they're not going to be a concern at all today. 68 degrees here in Lawrence. We've got partly cloudy skies right now. I'd expect them to clear out over the next few hours as we get into our late afternoon, early evening. Now those winds, they're definitely something you're going to want to keep in mind. Coming out of the southwest, about 40 miles an hour, gusting as much in some areas. Definitely going to notice that. There's a chance it'll blow a hat off your head if you're not paying too much attention. Overnight lows though, 50 degrees. Those clouds going to be increasing in the opposite of how it was today. Clouds going to be increasing. We're not seeing too much in terms of precipitation, any kind of storm potential, just some clouds passing on through. Winds coming out of the west about 5 miles an hour. Now take a look at this. Tomorrow's looking to be the pretty eventful day. Now we're looking at the RRFS model. Models are showing a little bit of confliction on if there's going to be storms around that 1 o'clock time frame or if it's going to be a little bit later in the evening, hovering around that 4 o'clock time frame. But they're all agreeing pretty well. We're going to get some storms in the afternoon and into the evening. Now these storms, they could roll on the severe side. An isolated tornado or two, not out of the question. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to your latest weather updates as they come through our area. 7-day forecast though. Look at this. Tomorrow, that's our big day for weather. But then, Saturday, Sunday, Easter Sunday especially, it's looking amazing outside. 61 degrees, very little wind, very little cloud cover to begin with. Monday and Tuesday, we're back in those 60s. So, Case, I know with all the rain we've been seeing, these dandelions are really starting to bloom. And Wednesday, even more chance, 20% chance of showers on Wednesday, a high of 70 degrees.
Trevor, I know you're from Illinois, but as a guy from Dallas, I mean, I am definitely choosing Texas over this rainy Lawrence weather.
Case, I absolutely agree. New gravestones are being added for 30 buried black residents in unmarked graves in Potter's Field at Oak Hill Cemetery. KUJH reporter Caden Baird went down to the cemetery to talk to members of the NAACP to find out what these new headstones mean to them and for the Lawrence community.
Usually adding a gravestone to a cemetery implies someone has just died, but at Potter's Field, it's happening for a much different reason. Potter's Field is the resting place of over 1,000 people from Lawrence, most in unmarked graves, and of those 1,000, 30 were black residents who the NAACP is now trying to honor with markers.
So many times, markers are just for the wealthy and the powerful and the famous, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to mix them up and say, everybody has value.
And with unearthing the past, it can create some unease, as of the 30 people being honored, 3 were lynching victims here in Lawrence in 1882.
We can't correct it, but we can try to give them justice in the long run, and that's what we're trying to do.
The 3 black men were accused of murdering a white man who had allegedly been sexually abusing one of their daughters. The daughter, Margaret Sis Vinegar, narrowly avoided the same fate by just 1 vote from the mob, and was later convicted in court of murder at the age of 14, where she would later die at 20 years old behind bars. And though her remains were lost, she's being honored with a marker right next to her father.
Rather than have her be completely anonymous, lost to the ages, her marker is going to be next to her dad's.
The division between white and black didn't end there, as Lawrence would divide neighborhoods based on skin color.
I remember my dad telling us that the only house he could get was the only one they would show him.
Ursula hopes this project provides clarity about what life was like in the past, hopefully to avoid the same mistakes.
The community knowing that these kind of things happened, it's not, trying to make Lawrence in a bad light. It's just history that happened that we're bringing to the forefront that we can all get together and talk about.
For KUJH, Caden Baird.
Thanks, Caden. The official unveiling of the new granite headstones at Potter's Field is scheduled for June 10th.
With spring's unpredictable weather, comfort in classrooms isn't guaranteed. KUJH reporter Jack Kenna has the latest on air conditioning issues on campus.
In Robinson Classroom 252, people describe it like this.
Hot. Muggy.
And like this.
It's really hot in there all the time.
And even this.
It's pretty miserable, yeah.
Robinson isn't the only warm building, however. 80% of campus buildings rely on the hydronic systems, which use steam and water to control temperatures. But when classrooms heat up, professors say there's a bigger problem.
I have also found just on hot days that students just don't come to class. That is super concerning, especially if the goal for our university is to get students to come to class, and it is to get students to graduate.
Facilities says switching systems can take up to 48 hours, making Kansas weather hard to keep up with. Kansas has tried accommodations.
They have a big box fan in there, which that's helpful, kind of.
But that doesn't solve the issue. Conditions can get so bad that even education isn't worth it.
I'm to the point where if it's a hot day, I will cancel class.
Yeah, I feel like just if I'm hot, that's all I can focus on.
And that shouldn't be a problem students have to worry about.
We are expecting students to be in class. Let's, at a minimum level, give them a comfortable, safe, and accepting environment.
For the next handful of weeks, the comfortability in Robinson 252 and other older classrooms might be reliant on some extra support. Reporting for KUJH News, I'm Jack Kenna.
KUJH reached out to facilities and operations but did not receive a response. We will continue to follow this story more in the coming weeks, but until then, facilities recommend to lower the window blinds in classrooms and use personal fans.
As the seasons change here in Lawrence, some college students are trading in winter clothes for spring ones. For some, this means cleaning out closets and giving old clothes a second life. KUJH reporter Evelyn V. Hill spoke to students about thrifting in Lawrence.
With spring in full bloom, some college students are packing up their winter wardrobes and bringing out the spring clothing. With this comes the spring cleaning of getting rid of items they no longer wear. And for most, that means donating to local thrift stores here in Lawrence.
Yeah, it does. I actually just did it. I take all my jackets and I put them in bins under my beds, and then I get all my summer dresses and all my tank tops out and I hang them up.
On the other side, some students are looking for spring clothing. Between lower prices and unique pieces, thrifting is a first choice for those looking for that wardrobe update. While there are curated thrift stores which pull specific pieces, the best way college students save money is through a traditional thrift store. The two most popular thrift stores in Lawrence include Goodwill on 31st and Salvation Army on 23rd Street. Both work to keep their prices fair and reasonable for students.
A lot of people in here, especially when it's a hot day out and people decide they need shorts and tank tops because they have all their winter clothes out, they'll come in here and refresh their wardrobe.
On top of the low prices and unique pieces, thrifting is also an environmentally friendly way to help shop more sustainable and ethically for those on the donation side of things and the shopping side.
And I usually just go through them based off size, does it fit me, and if it's in fashion or in trend, and then I donate it to Goodwill. That's down the street. So
for KUJH, I'm Evelyn V. Hill.
Thrifting continues to be a budget-friendly and sustainable option for students here in Lawrence, and with every season change comes the ability to expand their wardrobes.
After the break, KUJH Sports will be here to give us a look at Haskell University's new softball stadium. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to KUJH Sports. I'm Zach Newkirk here with your latest on KU Sports and beyond. Kansas men's basketball head coach Bill Self is set to return for the 2026-27 season. Self says he remains focused and committed to the program with his sights set on a national championship. The announcement was made yesterday after he recently said he would discuss his future with family following multiple health concerns. Kansas women's basketball season has come to a close, falling to BYU 70-67 in the WBIT. The Jayhawks fought to the buzzer but couldn't complete the comeback. Jalea Davis led the way with 18 points, capping off her standout freshman season, now ranking second all-time in scoring among KU freshmen. A remarkable comeback story on the PGA Tour. University of Kansas alum Gary Woodland takes home the Houston Open title. Woodland finished 3 under on Sunday to secure the win just 30 months after undergoing brain surgery. The victory comes after he recently opened up about his battle with post-traumatic stress disorder, making the moment even more powerful. Kansas baseball completes the season sweep over Missouri with an 11-8 comeback win. The Jayhawks scored 4 runs in the 8th inning, including a go-ahead 3-run home run from Tyson LeBlanc. Kansas has now won 5 straight against the Tigers. Kansas baseball is heating up at the right time as the Jayhawks get set for a 3-game series here in Lawrence. But tonight's game holds a little more significance than just the matchup. KUJH's Addie Rabel is live out at Hoagland Ballpark with a preview of what to expect this weekend and why this game stands out. Addie?
That's right, Zach. The Kansas Jayhawks are set to take on Utah in a Big 12 matchup, but the focus tonight extends beyond the field. Here at Hoagland Ballpark, Kansas will host its 4th annual Autism Awareness Game. To celebrate Autism Awareness Month in April, Kansas will be wearing special uniforms and hats designed to help raise awareness while also creating a more inclusive environment for fans in attendance here tonight. Stadium volume will be lowered before first pitch and gradually increase throughout the game, part of an effort to make the experience more comfortable for everyone involved. Head coach Dan Fitzgerald brought the tradition to Kansas as a deep personal meaning to him, but on the field, Kansas comes into the series with momentum, sitting at 19-10 overall and 6-3 in Big 12 play. The Jayhawks will look to keep that going as they open a 3-game series here tonight. Reporting live from Hoagland Ballpark for KUJH Sports, I'm Adeline Brable.
Thanks, Addie. First pitch is set tonight for 6 p.m. as the Jayhawks look to build on their strong start to conference play. Haskell Indian Nations University is entering a new era on the diamond as the program now has a brand new home. KUJH's Eli Greenwald takes us inside the new facility and what it means for the future of the program.
At Haskell Indian Nations University, located directly across from the football stadium, is a brand new softball park, named to be determined, with a beautiful new turf field.
So everything you see out there is brand new. So they tore apart everything from, there was a scoreboard out there and then that's all gone. Everything from the electrical, there were no lights.
Playing on a turf field is significantly easier, especially as an infielder when it comes to fielding ground balls.
You know, naturally the girls have a little bit more confidence with themselves on the field just because there's not going to be bad hops or anything like that on a turf field.
Being on turf kind of just allows you to go all out. I think sometimes in practice or in a game, the fear of being scraped up, I think that's not existent out here.
The new ballpark won't only help play on the field, but it will also help improve and advance the program off the field as well.
I think that the turf then builds that into showing recruits that we have this phenomenal field, and then being able to gain more athletes that are experienced.
The new facility is already making an impact when it comes to recruitment.
So we have 14 girls coming in next fall, 3 JUCO transfers, 1 NAIA transfer, and then 10 true freshmen.
This ballpark is a representation of the hard work of the Haskell softball program and the athletic department and shows the university's commitment to the team.
Being on this field, it kind of represents something even outside of softball. I think it just stands for the capacity of and how capable us as Indian people are. It makes me proud to know that our institution and our athletic department's investing in this sport.
The attitude in the athletic department at Haskell is that this is the start of a big rise in the softball program.
I think it's a start to a new beginning. That's kind of what I kind of look at it like.
Haskell softball had their home opener here at the new stadium on March 21st against Heston College, and they are back in action here at home on April 16th against Kansas Christian College. For KUJH News, I'm Eli Greenwald.
Thanks, Eli. That stadium looks incredible. I'll definitely have to catch a game out there. It might be spring, but KU sports are still in full swing. With baseball and softball taking the front pages, we can't forget track and field. The KU track team will travel down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana tomorrow to compete in the Battle on the Bayou. KUJH reporter Grant Shear joins us live to give us a preview of the upcoming meet.
Thanks, Zach. That's right. The Battle on the Bayou is right around the corner. Starting on Friday, the Jayhawks will be competing in a 2-day track meet. The Big 12 meets the SEC and the Big 10 in what will be a fast-paced, high-energy showcase of athletes. Now, this meet has some of the best teams competing, and as we all know, those SEC marks are no joke. So what do the Jayhawks need to do to place well at this meet? Well, the obvious answer is the field. To no one's surprise, the pole vault is one of the Jayhawks' biggest strengths. On the women's side, Mason Minershagen and Madison Snowdy are 2 names to watch for. These 2 both placed top 5 at the Big 12 Indoor Championship earlier this year. Now, vaulting over to the men's side, the Jayhawks will take a big hit. NCAA champion Ashton Bartle will not be competing due to redshirting his outdoor season, but Anthony Meacham, the Big 12 indoor champion, has huge potential to make a splash in the Bayou. Sprinting over to the track now, another huge aspect for the Jayhawks is the long-distance races. To start with the men's mile, Tanner Talley's promising 4-minute and 6-second 5th-place finish at the Big 12 Indoor Championship has the opportunity to really break out this week. With it being an outdoor meet, the dust has been knocked off and PRs are bound to happen. Staying on the distance side, the men's 1,000-meter run will be a competitive race. But if anyone can do it, Yo Higuchi is the man to call. Higuchi ran a time of 2 minutes and 22 seconds at the Big 12 Indoor Championship. Again, this is a grueling race, but with it being an outdoor meet and a breath of fresh air, literally, anything can happen, and Higuchi has been on the rise as of the last few years. The Battle on the Bayou will be one of the most competitive meets the Jayhawks have competed in all year. And don't just take my word for it. The meet has an entry standards, meaning athletes have to hit certain marks just to be able to compete in the event. For example, the men's 100-meter dash has an entry time of 10.6 seconds. Talk about a fast field. Now, the Jayhawks have all the pieces to compete with great competition this weekend, whether it be on the track, the field, or even in the air. Stay tuned Friday at 10:30 a.m. when the first event starts on the Battle on the Bayou. Reporting for KUJH Sports, I'm Grant Shear.
Thanks, Grant. While the track team is down in Baton Rouge, the softball team is gearing up for a 3-game series right here in Lawrence. Now, due to inclement weather, the Saturday game has now been moved to this evening, and the Jayhawks are gearing up for a doubleheader against Arizona State. Aiden Ball will have the latest weather forecast for the action on the diamond this weekend after the break.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to KUJH News.
Weatherman Aiden Baugh is back with us one final time to let us know what to expect in the upcoming week. And Aiden, I know the great Luke Bryan once said that rain is a good thing, but please tell me it's going to be sunny.
Well, Case, today it's going to be sunny. Tomorrow, completely different story. Out at Hoagland, game time slated for 6 o'clock p.m. It's going to be pretty nice today, all things considered, here in Lawrence. That's great for both baseball and softball. Should be perfect weather outside today for it. Tomorrow, completely different story. We've got a really good chance of showers and storms coming through Friday evening, exactly when the game's slated for. So definitely going to want to be packing those umbrellas, rain ponchos, heading out to watch the Jayhawks. 72 for a high, those winds blowing at 15 miles an hour. Saturday, a little bit better, partly cloudy skies, a little bit cooler outside, hanging around in the 50s. Winds coming out of northwest about 18 miles an hour. Case, it's good, but it could be a lot better.
Definitely could be a lot better, but I don't know about you, Trevor, but some warm weather is needed after the cold couple of days just earlier this week.
Case, let me tell you, this pale face really needs some sun. The tight-knit community and passionate KU sports fan can make Lawrence feel like its own little bubble. KUJH reporter Savannah Lawson traveled east on K10 to a major event hosted in KC just this past weekend, reminding us to branch out once in a while.
For the first time ever, KC City Market hosted the Asian Glow Fest, and the turnout was insane. The 2-day festival brought in hundreds, with long lines forming for some of the most popular food vendors.
The food, it smells so good here. Yes, I'm really excited about that one back there. They sell dim sum back there. Yes, I'm really excited to try the shumai.
The festival had live music, a traditional lion dance performance, and dozens of vendors serving food from across Asia. While food stood out as the main attraction, other vendors offered handcrafted goods, including a Lawrence-owned business.
So we are Andante Home. We're a fragrance/artisanal candle company in Lawrence, Kansas. One of the things is, being, half immigrant, Chinese immigrant owned and American owned, we're in a lot of more American, spaces. So we saw this opportunity to be in the Asia market. Then that way we can really showcase not only our American side of our business, but also a lot of our Asian inspiration.
People from all backgrounds came to celebrate, creating a very lively and welcoming atmosphere.
Phenomenal experience. It's truly astounding to see how many different cultures are out here today. Moreover, it's also really cool to see what groups of people are here as well. It's really cool to see.
For many in Lawrence, it may be a reminder to step outside that bubble and experience events like this just 45 minutes away. For KUJH News, I'm Savannah Lawson.
Thanks, Savannah. If you're interested in more information or simply just attending the next Big KC Festival, check out City Market KC on Instagram.
Well, that's all we have for you this morning. Check out KUJH on TikTok and Instagram for exclusive content and keep up to date on the latest stories at KUJHnews.com. I'm Case Spears.
And I'm Trevor Burns. KUJH News will be back next Thursday at 11:30 a.m. for William Allen White Day. Have a good rest of your week.